Hey, friends, welcome back to the Mindful Classroom. I'm TJ Velasco, and I would like to clear up some little clerical work first. I apparently can't count and was forgetting about the kickoff episode where I described what we'd be doing, the format, the idea. So, in labeling the last one I posted as episode 6, I was mistaken. This is actually episode 6. So, I apologize. I'll straighten it out. As I said, it's a learning experience. Some things are getting better. Some things I'm starting to figure out. There's a lot of growth taking place here. But I thought I would open up today with a poem. I used to love teaching poetry. I miss teaching poetry. Since the Mindful Classroom is in some ways still my classroom, although our classroom, we learn and share together. I thought I would bring some poetry in today. So the poem I want to share with everybody is a poem that I used to teach around Thanksgiving. I always thought that that was a great time of year to talk about concepts such as gratitude and thanks and kindness. So this is a poem by Naomi Shihab Nye. The poem is called Kindness. It always has had an incredible impact on me, so I hope I can share something as powerful with you. Following the poem, we're going to do a body scan meditation to just really kind of get present in the moment with our bodies. So, kindness. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go so you know how desolate the landscape can be. Between the regions of kindness, how you ride and ride thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you. How he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and a simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it until your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. And I think in a world so riddled with divisiveness as we are in, and unfortunately most likely is going to get worse in the upcoming months, kindness is such an important thing. Understanding where people come from, understanding the pains that people may have gone through, trying to put ourselves in other people's shoes. And not to say we accept what they believe, not to say that it really is even going to change our mind, but just trying to come to some kind of an understanding of how they got there. And maybe in that, opening up a further discussion. If you look this poem up further in interviews, the poet Nye has described it as very, very much something that happened when she was traveling, experiencing some of this tragedy. And I thought it was fascinating because she says she didn't write the poem, it wrote itself. She was just a vessel that the poem came through. So, I think if we can all walk with a little more kindness, that maybe we can understand each other a little bit better and kind of come to a better place in each other's lives. So, that's a poem. I'll probably be bringing a number of poems to you. Poetry seems to be something we lose somewhat in our society. Obviously, we have music, and music does speak to us as poetry. But somewhere along the line, I think it's also a beautiful thing to just sit down with some of these writings and some of these poems and experience that art. So I will probably be bringing that from time to time. What I want to do today, though, is to take a moment and sit with you in a meditation. And I'd like today that we're going to focus on our bodies. We're going to do a little bit of a body scan. The nice thing about this is if you'd like to be sitting, this works really well seated. You could sit cross-legged. You could sit in a chair. This is one that also works extremely well lying down. Although I will warn you, depending on your state of mind, you may fall asleep. If you do, that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, to get into such a relaxed state that you can fall asleep. But I will talk you through this as we go through and kind of experience what we feel in our bodies, and maybe try, in some cases, to release some of the pain and see where you are. So if I could ask you to get comfortable, if you want to sit down, find a seat somewhere. If you want to lie down, lie down. Make sure there'll be no distractions for the next 10 or 15 minutes. But just if everybody gets into a comfortable position, if you're sitting, have both feet on the ground and back up straight. And this time I'm going to open us and close us. I'm going to open us with a bell ringing. So when you hear the bell, if you're comfortable with your eyes closed, close your eyes. If you're not comfortable with your eyes closed, just pick a spot. Maybe look off into a spot on the wall, a spot on the floor, but just soften your gaze as you look at that. So when you hear the bell, just close your eyes and we'll begin. Now I'm going to ask that we can start off taking 3 deep breaths. So a nice big breath in through our nose. Notice that pause at the top and let it out through your mouth. And as you breathe out, let your body just sink into the position you're in, getting comfortable, letting any tension from the day go away. Take another deep breath in. Really try to feel your body, your belly expand as you do this. Notice that pause at the top and then let it out. And then one final deep breath. Notice the difference between that little pause between the in-breath and the out-breath. And then let your breath out. Now you can bring your breathing back to normal. And we'll just sit with this for about 30 seconds, just sitting with our breath, being in this moment, leaving behind anything that happened before we came here, not thinking about what's coming next, but just focused in on this moment. Now moving our attention from our breath, place your attention to the top of your head. Just notice any sensations you can feel. It can be heat, cold, and a little buzzing of energy. Maybe you don't feel a thing, but just focus your attention to the top of your head. Then slowly let your focus drift down till you come to your ears. Focus your attention on your ears. Whatever it is you're feeling. Again, sensations sometimes it could be temperature, whatever you might feel. Now bring your attention down into your jaw. oftentimes in your jaw you might feel tension. If you're clenching your jaw, pay attention to that, unclench it. Sort of let your whole face drop and relax. At this point, bring that sense of relaxation into our head. Now visualize your focus coming down into your neck. Neck is often a place we carry a lot of tension, so you might want to feel that relax a little bit. And in this case, if it helps, you can even move your neck a little bit from side to side. Feel any tense spots, any tight spots. Just try to imagine all your energy going into that place in your neck and relaxing all those muscles. Now allow your energy to continue down from your neck towards your back into your trapezoids. Once again, that upper back can have a lot of tension in it. So maybe at this point you can physically try to drop your shoulders, roll your head a little bit, but just feel this space relaxing. Let your shoulders relax. And now before we go down the back, let's switch our focus to going along our arms. Kind of let your attention go to your arms. Look for any sensations you might feel. Maybe it's your shirt sleeve against your arm. Maybe you're feeling the temperature of the room. Sometimes you can even pick up a little bit of an energy that tingles along your arm. Pay attention to any feelings you might have. Now take that attention and let it drift further down to your hands. And the first thing you can do is try to sense any feeling you might have on the top of your hands. It's a harder one to do. We don't really think about the tops of our hands much. You know, is there a temperature sensitivity you're feeling? Maybe you feel that same energy riding along your hands. But now from the tops of your hands, feel the bottoms, your palms. And in this case, maybe your palms are touching your legs or they're touching a bed. But try to feel what you feel in contact with the bottoms of your hands. Now that we've gone down our arms, we're going to come back up and focus our attention on our chest. Here you might feel the tightness or looseness of your clothes. Perhaps you feel your breath as it comes in and out of your lungs. Let your attention drift down from your chest into your stomach. And depending on whatever time of day you're listening to this, maybe you feel your stomach being full from having recently eaten. Perhaps your stomach is grumbling from looking forward to eat. You also might feel the rise and fall of your breath even in your stomach as you breathe in and it expands. And then as you breathe out and it contracts. Sit with your focus on your stomach for a little while though. Maybe we'll spend about 30 seconds here. It truly is a nerve and energy center in our bodies. Then you can continue down into your hips and your pelvis. Maybe you feel the tightness of the waistband of your pants. If you're sitting or lying down, you might feel the pressure of the chair or the bed on your butt. And you can just feel that space of contact where you're grounded with the earth. Now bring your energy into your thighs. Look for what feelings you might have. Maybe you put your attention there and you can feel the energy running through your thighs, or perhaps you feel a soreness from all the walking you've been doing, bending down, all the work your thighs do for your body every day. As you're on your legs, try to put some attention to the top of your thigh and then rotate around to the back. Try to see if there's any difference in how they feel. If you're sitting down, you might also feel the contact of the chair with the back of your thigh. Focus your attention back into your calves as you drift down. Perhaps you can feel your socks on your calf or the pant leg as it presses against your calf. If you happen to be wearing shorts, maybe you just feel the air temperature brushing up against your calves. Try to drift around to your shin, seeing what you feel there. Next, bring your attention down around your ankles. Might even move them a little bit to feel all the work your ankles do every day, the bones that move, the bending of your ankles. And finally, we can let our attention and our focus come onto our feet. If you're sitting, perhaps you can feel your connection of your feet to the earth, the soles of your feet touching, the pressure you're putting. Sometimes it's a light pressure. Maybe it's a hard pressure you feel against the earth. If you really focus, you can feel that grounded connection you have to the earth around you. And finally, bring your attention to the tops of your feet. Try to pick up any sensations you might feel on the tops of your feet. Again, if you have socks or shoes on, maybe you feel that cloth on the top of your feet, the tightness of shoelaces. If you're barefoot, perhaps you're just sensing what you feel as far as the air temperature and the energy around you. Now, if you listen closely, you're going to hear a bell ring 3 times. And as it does, very slowly open your eyes and come back to the room. And you should feel a nice present sense. I apologize for the dog barking in the end. I work my best with her, and I'm looking for better solutions. See if I can edit some of that out. The nice thing about body scans are they're something you can do on your own. They're one of my favorite things to do at night when I'm trying to fall asleep. And I'll actually do them in reverse. So we went from the top down, which I think brings more attention to that thinking part of your head, and then goes down into the more physical part of your body. But if I'm trying to fall asleep at night, I actually like to do the reverse, and I will start at my feet. And lying in bed, you can even incorporate tensing up the muscles in your feet and then letting them relax, and going through each one of those steps to relax your body as you move up from your feet to your calves to your thighs, through your hips and butt, up into your stomach. And oftentimes, I won't even make it past my waist and I will have fallen asleep. I just slowly relax each part of my body as I'm coming up toward my head. And I don't even really have to worry about getting into my head. And the nice thing about it is, in going into your body, it actually takes you out of your head and allows you to relax and fall into a nicer state of sleep. So that's one that I would suggest you may want to try as you're lying down to fall asleep. I think it's a really good one for that. But that's kind of where I wanted to take you today. So I thank you for being here. So far, it's been a great day. We're in Cape May, New Jersey. It's a lot warmer than it's been in other places. So I definitely enjoyed the warmth. If you're watching some of the other things I post on YouTube, you would have had a chance to see that I was able to take my first cold plunge today that was not inundated in ice in a number of days. So that was really, really nice. So I leave you with this. As you go out for the rest of it today or tomorrow, try to keep in mind a few things that you are grateful for. I will recommend that again and again. It's something I do every morning. But, some things from today that have made you feel really grateful. And they don't have to be big things. They can be small things. The fact that the temperature is warming up a little bit if you enjoy the warmer weather. Or the fact that in many of our cases, we have a roof over our heads. It's more than a lot of people have. So be kind to each other. Have a great day. And I welcome you back on Friday to the Mindful Classroom. Take care.